So you were saying that you launched Magma Mobile in October last year, which is exactly the same time we launched Shoes of Prey. And you've been saying, yeah, obviously it's going really well for you. I mean, how does it compare with your goals and expectations for the business? Is it going how you wanted?
Yes, we're really excited. We're like it's even difficult to grasp that we had 3 million downloads, that
Yeah,
1.5 million people in the world downloaded our pinball game and are playing with their little Android phone. So, uh, no, we're super excited, and the actual idea of hiring someone is making me really proud. I mean, we keep on hearing, especially here in France, that there's a big crisis and the job market is not doing well and all that, but we're seeing growth, and we're ready to move on with that growth and bring somebody in. And I think that was the big thing for me, is understand how do you manage growth. That's the big thing, because
yep,
we're seeing good return on investment on what we do,
great.
especially with the games that we develop. And I think one way I was trying to explain it, one day I was trying to explain it to my family, and I was saying, uh, it's like having a shop being open 7 days a week, and instead of having a shop in just one street, it's like having this shop being all over the world at once.
Yeah,
And this is what makes it so different, and this is why we can scale so much, is that we create something. We try to localize things a lot, and I learned a lot from Google there. If you go on androlib.com or even our application, we have 7 or 8 of the top 10 languages in the world covered.
that's
And I
great.
think it's a big deal for us to really spread around. Um, so yeah, managing growth. It's looking at the return on investment of what we do, and anything, and that's why right now we're looking into anything related to opportunity cost. Is
Yep.
that we do want to do things for clients, but is it going to bring as much money as doing something for ourselves during the same amount of time?
Yeah, yeah,
And at the same time, it's true that our publishing business is much more effective from a return on investment perspective.
yep.
Now, having said that, you have to manage growth, especially with the cash flow. I mean, Shoes of Prey and Magma Mobile is pretty much the same thing in terms of investment. We decided to do it ourselves and
Mm,
not bring external investment whatsoever.
yep.
So we really started from scratch. We started from zero. So the idea was really to ramp up and have enough cash. So whenever someone comes in, we can cover at least 6 to 12 months of his salary, no matter what happens to the company and stuff. And so this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to build a company one step at a time. We're really excited, and we want to move really fast, because we know there's a lot of competition out there, and at the same time, we don't want to make mistakes in terms of cash flow. So so
Yeah.
so those are the challenges at the moment, is really understanding at one point can you make the right investment with the right people too. I mean,
Yep.
the reason why I'm lucky enough to be in that position is that I created the company with two people that are
Yeah.
extremely talented from a developer perspective, and the fact that we have this startup attitude where we don't count the hours and we really focus and really we get into it. And then you move to the fact that you need an employee, and you start to think of, well, he's not really a founder, so I want to make sure he's motivated, and
Mm,
he gets the right, not only the right amount of money for what he does, because I don't think that's just enough, but making sure he's really thrilled and challenged about what he does. And I think to some extent Google helped in that way, because especially during the first years, I remember quarters after quarters I was doing something different, and I
yep.
was given opportunities to do something different, and I
Yep.
was just thrilled about this. I was learning new things, and I felt valued. So this is going to be also the big thing. And I know you had a post about that, about your first employee and how you really wanted to recognize her value.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's great. Yeah, and exactly like you say, I think working at Google was a great sort of experience. You see a lot of how a good company puts all that into practice, and you get a lot of good lessons for hiring your own first employee. No, that's so exciting. You've got that sort of traffic, that sort of downloads for your pinball game, and that you're hiring your first employee. That's great. So your employees are going to be another developer. So
Yeah, that's it. And it's something I've been thinking about too, is the idea of value creation and who's in charge of creating value within your company
hmm
and who's in charge of selling the value that is being created. As far as I'm concerned, I'm only on the commercial and strategic side of the business, and then I have very little skills when it comes down to developing. It only drills down to HTML, which is definitely not enough.
that's more than me.
Yes, so the idea was I wanted to make sure that the ratio of value to selling was as high as possible. And obviously, when we started, it was 2 to 1, and by next month, it will be 3 to 1.
Yep,
And I'm thrilled about that.
that's
And,
great.
and obviously, maybe, and what's going to be interesting is that at one point it's going to have to adjust. Maybe it's going to be 4 to 1 at some point, but at some point there's so much value being created that I just don't have the resources to sell at all. And
Mm-hmm.
then we're disappointed about it. And this is where you have to find the right ratio. But when we think of the banking crisis and all that, we often hear the idea that they were not actually creating any value
Yep,
in
yep,
what they were doing, in
yeah,
what they
right.
were buying and selling. And so this is something that sticks to me, is that where do we create value, and how do I really sell the value, provide the right value to the right users. Yeah, and obviously I was on the strategic side with them, and I was trying to really say, let's focus on these three things. Even though we see so many different things out there, let's focus on that, and then and let's evaluate every 3 to 6 months. As I was saying, at a lot of people came to us and said, well, for each of the three things you do, it could be a company on its own. And
Mm-hmm.
it's true. We could just be publishers, or we could just do things for client, or we could just look at a 9 million page view website.
Yep,
And all that is very true. And what we decided, just go with it and go with the three, and then say, well, within 3 to 6 months, we're going to evaluate what's best for us.
yep,
Not only where the best return on investment is, but also where we have some fun and
yeah,
where we enjoy what we do.
that's great.
And because I know that, especially on the developer side, they can spend hours and then nights doing something, especially if they do it and they're having so much fun about it. And being
Mm.
able to really recognize that
Yep.
is really important.
And actually, I think you're in a great position too with those three parts to your business because they're all complementary. So I imagine when you're looking for work, like to do work for clients, you don't have to do a lot of selling because your clients have seen that you run AndroLib and that you've made this awesome pinball game. And so it's a pretty simple sales process for you to sign up clients. So I imagine you've probably got
Absolutely.
people
Like
banging on your
when I
door.
see clients, first of all, I can show them our expertise. It's not like I'm coming blank. I can show them what we have accomplished, and then I can also tell them that not only we're going to develop for them, but we're going to look at the marketing and the monetization of it.
Yep.
And that's a big deal, because
Yep.
today, with 150,000 application on the iPhone and 35,000 on the Android market, it's
Yep.
just really difficult for a brand to come up.
Yep.
So by letting them know that we're going to work on their brand, highlighting their brand, what they've done, it's really reassuring that we're not just going to leave them alone right after
Yeah.
developing. And
Yeah.
then the idea that a lot of the publishers I speak to are media publishers, not so much e-commerce publishers,
Yep.
and therefore they want to know how they're going to monetize, how it's going to become a revenue model for them, and we can help them with that. And
Yep.
finally, what we try to do is really look at the user experience, and that's why we integrate Google Analytics in everything we do.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Uh, it's great to be able to integrate analytics within a mobile application and get
Yeah.
all the reports like a web report,
Yep.
and we can really track the kind of screen, the kind of pages that work, the one that don't, and also the traffic globally that we get, so we can adjust our strategy alongside. All of this is very complementary, and that was the original idea with working on those three fronts.
Yeah, that's good. That's clever. Cool. Well, thanks so much, Etienne. That was really interesting to hear what you're doing with Magma Mobile, and great to hear that it's going so well.
You're very welcome,
Thanks for
and
being the
thank you
first
again
interview
for
on
your
our
blog.
blog.
It helps a lot.
No, great. No, great. Thanks for reading it.